A horror, a tragedy befell my husband, a descent into a nightmare he couldn't escape. Our marriage was blissful, a sanctuary of love. He was the epitome of a devoted, tender husband. His strength, once unwavering, began to crumble. The insidious change crept upon us unnoticed, leaving him a withered husk of his former self. Each night, the screams would rip him from sleep, his voice raspy with terror, pleading, "Is this a dream?" The cycle repeated, a relentless torment, every 10 minutes, clawing at his sanity. Before succumbing to the clutches of sleep, he'd pray, his words laced with desperation, frantic pleas to God, to Buddha, to any deity that might listen, though he'd never embraced religion before. Unable to bear witness to his suffering any longer, I confronted him, demanding answers. His eyes darted around, filled with a primal fear. Before he leaned in, his voice a chilling whisper. The same figure, or something not human, haunts my dreams. Perhaps not a figure at all, he corrected himself, his voice trembling. It chases me, relentlessly, through the endless corridors of my sleep. His voice shook, a tremor of pure terror. I tried to reassure him. "Darling, it's just a dream. Don't be ridiculous," I chided gently. "You're a strong man. What's there to fear in a dream?" His eyes widened, his breath coming in ragged gasps. "It's not just a dream," he choked out. "It's something far more sinister. Remember young Jay, our neighbor?" He asked, his voice strained. "The one who died suddenly of a heart attack a few days ago. The night before he died," he continued, his voice barely a whisper, "I dreamt of him. The thing was chasing me again, and I ran to Jay's house for refuge. The next day," he concluded, his voice thick with dread, "Jay was dead. Do you understand what that means?" "What does it mean?" I asked, bewildered. "What are you talking about? Don't you see?" He whispered, his eyes wide with terror. "Don't you understand? That thing killed Jay." He broke down, sobbing uncontrollably, a broken man consumed by fear. He wept like a lost child. A few days later, the screams returned, tearing through the night, ripping him from the fragile peace of sleep. He bolted upright, a wild look in his eyes, and scrambled out of bed, fleeing something unseen. "Wait," I cried, my heart pounding in my chest. I chased after him, fear gripping me like a vice. "What's wrong? What is it?" "You're home," I soothed. "You're safe. Nothing can hurt you here." He reached the balcony, his eyes wide with a manic terror. "No," he screamed, his voice raw with desperation. "It's not real. I'm still dreaming. You're not my wife. You're a demon. I have to jump. I have to get back to the real world." He started to climb the railing, his intent clear. He was going to jump. I lunged, grabbing him, pulling him back. I slapped him, hard, across the face. The sharp sting of pain seemed to pierce through the haze of terror. He looked at me, his eyes filled with confusion. It's not a dream. It's not a dream," I said, my voice trembling with relief. "I'm your wife." "What happened?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "The dream," he said, his voice hoarse. "It came back. It followed me here, into our home. It was 12 feet tall," he whispered, his voice filled with dread. "Its head, half its size. 3 pupils in each eye, staring right through me. Skin the color of a bruise, a sickening purple. And its mouth, Hundreds of teeth, black and sharp like needles. A black suit, impeccably tailored, yet radiating a chilling aura. Legs, like a goat's, he shuddered. I tried to be brave, he continued, his voice breaking. I yelled at it. I'm not afraid of you. This is just a dream. But it just laughed. A voice like grinding metal. It boomed. You are so naive. I am death. Death is me. Death is me, he repeated, his voice hollow. It laughed, a booming, hollow sound, but its face was weeping. The juxtaposition, the weeping face and the booming laughter. It was horrifying. The teeth, that grinding, metallic sound, hundreds of them, gnashing together like metal scraping against metal, deafening. I thought my eardrums would burst, he whispered, his voice cracking. I ran as fast as I could. I had to escape. But it followed me, relentless. Its voice echoing behind me. Embrace death, it hissed. Terror, pure, unadulterated terror, consumed me. My legs felt like lead, my breath caught in my throat. I stumbled, I fell, I got back up, driven by the primal instinct to survive. But it was gaining on me. It loomed over me, its maw wide, ready to consume me. At that moment, in a desperate act of self-preservation, he bit down on his own tongue, the searing pain jolting him awake. He awoke to the metallic tang of blood, his tongue mangled and bleeding. The blood flowed freely, a gruesome testament to his ordeal. I rushed him to the hospital, my mind racing with fear. After a battery of tests, the doctors were baffled. They couldn't find anything physically wrong. Desperate, after much deliberation, we sought the help of Lin Mei, a mystic renowned for her abilities, a glimmer of hope in the encroaching darkness. Upon seeing my husband, her face drained of color, she pointed at him, her voice laced with terror. You've seen it? She gasped. You've encountered it. Hope flickered anew. Perhaps she truly possessed the knowledge to help us. I fell to my knees, tears streaming down my face. Please, I begged, save my husband. She closed her eyes, deep in thought. Then, opening them, she spoke, her voice grave. Listen carefully. To survive, you must follow my instructions precisely. Tonight, you must not sleep at home. Find a place you've never been before, somewhere unfamiliar. Tell no one the address, not even family or friends. Absolutely no one. Before you sleep, paint your face like a clown, or wear a clown mask. Disguise yourself. Don't let it recognize you. If it still appears in your dream, don't hesitate. Run. That's your only chance. Don't think. Just run. Run towards open spaces. Avoid any occupied houses. Don't lead it to others. They could become its next victims. If possible, run towards water. It cannot swim. And whatever you do, avoid stairs. It's faster on stairs. Much faster. Don't climb. Don't even think about it. With that, Lin Mei dismissed us. Lin Mei ushered us out, leaving us to grapple with the chilling instructions. That night, Mai's husband found a cheap motel, a transient refuge in his desperate flight. He applied the garish clown makeup, a grotesque mask of painted smiles and hollow eyes, and drifted off to sleep. Miraculously, the entity didn't appear. He slept undisturbed, a brief respite from the relentless nightmare. But the following night, when he thought he could finally breathe, finally rest, the monster returned. It entered his dream, its presence a suffocating weight, but it hesitated. It didn't recognize him, not immediately. The clown makeup, the grotesque parody of joy, gave it pause. It tilted its massive head, steadying him, its three-pupilled eyes filled with a chilling curiosity. He took his chance, inching backward, his heart pounding in his chest. The entity followed, its movements slow, uncertain, but then recognition dawned. A spark of malevolent understanding in its eyes. "Fool," it roared, its voice a guttural rasp. "You think you can deceive me?" The chase began anew, a terrifying pursuit through the twisted landscape of his dream. He ran, driven by pure, unadulterated terror. He ran until his body screamed in protest. By morning, he was utterly exhausted, his body depleted. He dragged himself to the hospital, a broken man, haunted by the relentless nightmare. The doctor examined him, his face etched with concern. "My God," he exclaimed, "how long have you been running? Your joints and muscles are severely damaged. You'll need a wheelchair for the time being." But that night, the monster returned, its presence a suffocating dread. Confined to the wheelchair, he desperately propelled himself forward, his arms straining against the wheels, fleeing the relentless pursuit. He awoke the next morning, his arms paralyzed, the muscles unresponsive. He couldn't even lift them. Complete muscle paralysis. With no other option, he remained hospitalized. From that day forward, he fought desperately to stay awake. He forced himself to remain conscious, terrified of succumbing to sleep, despite the doctor's insistence that rest was crucial for his recovery, that sleep would help him heal. He consumed copious amounts of coffee, his body jittery with caffeine, anything to ward off the encroaching darkness. He refused to sleep. After 3 sleepless days, his condition deteriorated, consumed by fear and anxiety. He became increasingly agitated, begging the doctors to end his torment. He pleaded with them to find a way to make it stop. Left with no other choice, the doctors administered a sedative. "This will help you sleep deeply," they assured him. "You won't dream." But the very thought of sleep filled him with terror. He thrashed and screamed, "I can't sleep. I can't. I'll die if I sleep. I'll die." But the needle pierced his skin, the sedative flowing into his veins. He succumbed to the drug, his struggles ceasing, as he lay there, finally still, finally asleep. The doctor turned to me, his face grim. "Ma'am," he said, his voice low, "your husband's mental state is severely compromised. We may need to transfer him to the psychiatric ward tomorrow." He left the room, leaving me alone with my sleeping husband, the chilling words echoing in the silence. But the next morning, my husband was on the floor beneath the bed. Contorted, rigid, lifeless. He looked as though he'd been brutally attacked, savaged by something unseen. Red welts, like the marks of claws, covered his body. His joints, especially in his limbs, were pulverized, shattered beyond recognition. His tongue, severed. The doctors were helpless, their faces etched with confusion and a growing unease. They had no explanation, no answers. They were lost in the face of the inexplicable. I was lost too. What kind of illness could do this? What kind of sickness could leave a body so utterly ravaged? All I could think of was the dream he described. Could a monster truly enter someone's dreams and kill them? And why my husband? Why was he chosen for this horrifying torment? It remains a mystery, a chilling enigma etched into the fabric of my life. If you ever see that thing in your dreams, that towering, purple-skinned horror with eyes that pierced your soul, run. Run for your life. Don't let it catch you.